My name is Kayla, and I was 16 when I learned that hospital badges doesn't always mean a person belongs there. I grew up outside Savannah, Georgia, in a neighborhood where everyone knew your mother, your car, your curfew. My aunt Denise was a labor and a delivery nurse, and I wanted to be like her. So during the summer before junior year, I volunteered at St. Bridges Women's Center. I did not touch patients. I pushed carts, I folded towels, refilled water pitchers, and helped families find elevators. I loved it. The maternity floor smelled like baby lotion, coffee, flowers, and disinfectant. During the days it was warm. At night, when the lights dimmed, it felt like the building was holding its breath. That week, a young mother named Talia gave birth to a baby boy. Talia was 19, thin, quiet, and always watched the doorway. Her mother, Miss Carla, was the opposite. Loud laugh, gold bracelet, purse full of snacks, and always thanking the nurses. I noticed Talia got nervous whenever someone walked past her room too slowly. Later, I found out she had left Isaiah's father during pregnancy because of threats and violence. On my second night there, I saw a woman near the nursery door wearing navy scrubs with tiny sunflowers. She had a messy bun and a surgical mask under her chin. She smiled at me like she belonged. She asked, "Where's room 312 at?" That was Talia's room. I told her visitors had to check in at the desk. Her smile stayed, but her eyes changed. Not angry exactly. More like she was measuring how hard it would be to get past me. Then she said she was family and walked away. I told the nurse who worked that floor, and eventually they checked the visitors list. No sunflower scrub woman. About 30 minutes later, Talia's call light flashed. When we entered her room, she was sitting upright, pale and shaking. Isaiah was still in his bassinet, wrapped in a yellow blanket with yellow ducks on it. Talia said someone had stood at the foot of her bed, whispering that her baby looked just like his daddy. After that, the security nurse had security tighten the doors, but the hospital gets busy. A mother down the hallway started bleeding. Another baby needed a blood check. A family near the elevator was arguing. The whole building was stretched thin. I was carrying warm blankets when I saw the sunflower scrub lady again. She was pushing the bassinet towards the side of the hall. At first, my brain was tired to make it normal. Scrubs, bassinets, hospital floors, it all looked right. Then I saw the yellow duck blanket. My hands went cold. The blanket slid from my arms. I yelled for the security nurse. The woman turned and her face went flat. No panic, no guilt, just annoyance. She pushed faster, then the infant security alarm screamed. A harsh metal sound that made every door on the floor lock at once. The security nurse reached her before she left the side exit, and the real police came from the stairwell. The woman started crying only when she realized that she was trapped. She was not a nurse. She was a relative of Isaiah's father. She had come dressed in scrubs because people trust uniforms. Her plan was to take the baby before Talia could leave the hospital. The worst part was how close she got. Afterwards, Talia held Isaiah so tight that the nurse for babies had to remind her not to press on her incision. Miss Carla stood beside the bed with one hand over her mouth, shaking like the floor was moving under her. At 16, I thought danger would look like a stranger in a dark alley. Now I know it can be a smile under fluorescent lights and asking a polite question. For me, the thing that saved Isaiah wasn't bravery. It was the blanket. A yellow duck blanket that I happened to remember. My name is Marcus Hill, and at 24, I was working nights as an ER nurse in Minnesota. By 24, I had a nursing degree, an old Honda, and false confidence of a young man who thought he had seen everything of the worst people could do. The ER on winter nights was its own world. Snow blew against the ambulance bay doors, wet boots squeaked on the tiles, and the cold air that rushed in every time paramedics arrived. Around 1:20 a.m., EMS brought in a woman named Hannah. She was 22 with a swollen cheek, cracked lipstick, and a cut across her eyebrow. The paramedics said she had been found near a car that slid off the frontage road outside the city. She was awake, but foggy. A man came in behind her wearing a black coat and clean sneakers. His name was Caleb, and that was her boyfriend. He kept one hand on the rail of her stretcher while we rolled her in. At first, he sounded worried. Then I started to notice he answered every question for her. Had she been drinking? A little. Did she hit her head? Probably. Was anyone else in the car? No. Hannah's eyes moved to him every time he spoke. My change nurse, Dana Cho, was 40 and was calm in a way that made angry people unsure what to do. She told Caleb to wait outside while we accessed Hannah. He laughed, but his jaws tightened. As soon as he left, Hannah started crying without sound. Tears slid down her hair, her throat looked too sore to talk, and I handed her a pen and a back of a form. Dana asked if she felt safe. Hannah wrote one word: no. The room suddenly felt smaller. She wrote 3 things after that: not boyfriend, Maya ran, red truck. We called security, and the police officer posted near outside. Caleb began pacing. He kept looking towards the ambulance door, then towards Hannah's room, like he was counting exits. 10 minutes later, another young woman arrived wrapped in a stranger's winter coat. Her name was Maya. She had no shoes on, her socks were wet and gray from the snow. A rideshare driver had brought her in after finding her outside a closed gas station. Maya was shaking so badly she could barely stand. She said she and Hannah had gone to a small party with people from community college. Some people there had been drinking and making reckless decisions. What matters is that Caleb offered them a ride, then refused to take them home. Maya said Caleb drove them away from the city, became aggressive, and she grabbed Hannah's phone when she was trying to call someone. When the truck stopped, Maya ran. Hannah didn't get away. A few minutes later, Caleb crashed into a snowbank. That was the twist. Caleb didn't bring Hannah to the ER because he cared. He brought her in because he thought if he stood beside her, we would believe his version of the story better than she could tell hers. Security stopped him near the ambulance bay when he tried to leave. Police found Hannah's phone in his coat pocket. Later, they found Maya's backpack in his truck. At 24, I wanted to be the kind of nurse who could handle situations without flinching. I thought being strong meant not reacting, but that night changed me forever.